I want to start with the elephant in the room, which is the 64-win Cleveland Cavaliers. The fact that they got mopped out of the playoffs, just straight shown the door by this Indiana Pacers team. And I know that the knee-jerk reaction is going to be, yo, we got to blow this unit up. And that's the complete opposite of what it should be. And the reason why is because I feel like you let guys off the hook when you do that. Okay, there's a reason why they won 64 games this year. The action that they ran, the defensive, the transition defensive team that they were, the transition defensive player that they had, the long ball shooting team that they were, the defensive team that they were. There's a reason why they did that. Well, Indiana took them out of all of that. Indiana didn't take them out of some of the things that they did. It was difficult for Donovan Mitchell to get around screens to crack the long ball. Almost every shot that he shot was a tough shot. And when that's your shot diet, it's a recipe for disaster, right? When almost everything that you're doing is difficult. So I want to couple that with, it didn't really seem that difficult for Indiana. In fact, not only did it not seem that difficult for Indiana, a lot of the stuff that they got, even with their rotation players, looked a lot less difficult and it seemed simpler. So if I got a team that everything is difficult and I got another team that things aren't nearly as difficult, well, who's it going to work for? It's going to work for Indiana. So now what I don't want to do, guys, is I don't want to just completely go off the rails and go, yo, we got to blow this thing up. I think this is something as simple as you guys got to get better. Now, I can appreciate Max Strus going 0 for 9 yesterday. We've seen this before, guys, just so we know this isn't news. If I remember correctly, if you guys can straighten me out, did I not see 0 for 9 performance from Max Strus in the finals? I think he went 0 for 9, and I think the year before that in the Eastern Conference Championship, I got like a 1 for 11 performance from him. So this is, you know, you can expect this, to us, Chill. You can expect this kind of stuff from him, right? And on top of that, you know, Ty Jerome was a gift. So we know to Cleveland. Nobody was particularly interested in Ty Jerome in September. None of you guys up here that know basketball were like, yo.
Cap.
No, give me a break. None of you guys up here were like, yo, the Cavs got Ty Jerome. This is going to be great. No, you weren't. Knock it off. Okay, he was a gift to them.
That's so UVA legend Ty Jerome. Put some respect on his name, Chill.
100%. And guess what? The same UVA legend was on his way out the league. Nobody was particularly interested in him. Nobody cared about him. The point that I'm making is I don't want to jump the gun on this Cleveland Cavaliers team. I think they got 5 or 6 guys under contract next year. We don't have to blow this thing up. Nope. What we do have to do is we got to demand that these guys get better. I think that's
is there anybody that thinks they should blow it up? I know there's been concerns and speculations about whether they should break up that backcourt. They're too small. I know there's concerns not as big and not as loud about their front court. But do any of you guys think that they need to make a major adjustment?
I think what's going to be necessary for them is they got to get under the second apron. They're over the second apron by $11 million next year. So you have to try to move Oscar Curro along with the pick so you can get under that. But that still straps them. They're not going to be able to re-sign free agents. Ty Jerome might walk if the price tag on him is too high. I think Jared Allen.
You never liked him, though, Joe. Isaac Okoro.
Ty Jerome? I don't know about that. I never liked him. I don't know about that. I don't know if I've been screaming. I don't like Ty Jerome at the top of my lungs. I don't know.
I'm talking about Isaac Okoro. I'm not talking about Ty Jerome. I'm talking about
Okoro. Oh, okay.
You never liked him.
He's a one-dimensional player. He only provides defense. He provides no offense. So I think that you're going to lose value trading him because you're going to have to attach a pick to him, whether I think it's going to be a second-round pick, but you're going to have to attach something to him to get him out of there. And that still straps them because they're not going to be able to sign free agents. So I think the next natural move is to try to get even more under the second apron and try to trade Jared Allen, whose salary is $20 million. I think that there's a ton of suitors for him. The Lakers make a lot of sense because they need a center, and maybe you can get back a DFS or one of those wings because I think they need some wing defense. I think Strus being the primary wing defender in the starting lineup just is not working well enough, and I'm ready to see Evan Mobley play the center full time. I think you have to stick with Garland because we saw when he wasn't healthy, they just couldn't play make at all. Like he makes their offense fluid, but this is 3 years in a row now with Jared Allen that this year he got exposed. Last year he was hurt. And the year before that, the lights were too bright against New York. He just might not be prime for these type of playoff moments. With Garland, it's been more so injury, so I cut him slack. But with Jared Allen, I think you have to seriously consider some trade options for him.
Yeah, I don't think you have to do an overhaul with the roster. I really like where the Cavs are at, and I'm glad that Chill brought up not blowing it up because that's everybody's immediate reaction to these things. I do think Allen is the pivot point, though, and the reason being isn't necessarily that Allen and Mobley can't work. It's just like Evan Mobley is so damn good at anchoring your defense and playing at that 5 spot. It is a little redundant, and I think they can get better on the wings. The thing that Carson and I suggested last night was maybe potentially a Cam Johnson deal or something like that. I don't think the Cavs should be like in a hurry to move Allen if they're going to lose value or something like that. But I would tinker. He's the guy that I would be willing to shop a little bit because I think he got attacked a little bit in space in this Indiana series and got exposed a little bit there. And again, man, Mobley's just so damn good. I think as great as their offense was this year with Garland and Mitchell in the shooting, I think they could even go up another notch if they moved off of an Allen for a guy that's a little more skilled and provides some more shooting. And I really trust Mobley to be a one-man defense. And that's what I don't want to get lost. I get it's a disappointing end to a team that had 64 wins this year. But I mean, damn, Darius Garland bounced back in a big way. You got a phenomenal year from Ty Jerome off the bench. Evan Mobley won Defensive Player of the Year. So it's a disappointing end, but I think the Cavs had a really excellent season. And I damn sure wouldn't be blowing anything up, man. They got a really elite young core.
I hate to step in and interrupt this intense yap session that you're currently watching, but I just have to inform you on all the amazing, spectacular, fabulous, endless ways to play and win over at Prize Picks. Basketball fans, I know the season is just tipping off. Yes, I know this. But you know what that means? It means that you have an opportunity to pick your favorite players and their matchups that are the most thrilling, and you can win money from these. With Prize Picks, you can play daily NBA contests and test your hoop knowledge by choosing the player projections and every single stat line imaginable to make your Prize Picks and take home some nice hard-earned cash. Are you a rookie in the game? Don't even sweat it. I got the playbook for you right here. All you have to do is download Prize Picks, use promo code PANEL, and you will get $50 instantly when you play 5 here with Prize Picks. So what are you waiting for? Download Prize Picks, use promo code PANEL, and join me as we break down all of our amazing daily picks right here on the panel. Prize Picks. Run your game, control your game, win your game. It's easy, baby. It's easy.
Joe, real quickly, I got a question really quickly for Joe, because you've been saying this to me for over a year now, Joe. What's this fascination with Mobley at the 5? And the reason why I'm asking you that is because I feel like offensively, I think it could take away from some of his game when he plays the 4. But what's your fascination with Mobley at the 5?
I think 2 years ago that would have been accurate, but I think he's increased his physicality so much this year in his offensive game that I trust him full time there. And the fascination is you can have a switchable 5 and everybody can switch everything. I think that's very valuable for an NBA defense now. And Cleveland has to be careful, though, about pivoting off of Allen, because I also don't think that Mobley can be the only big you have. I mean, you have to have multiple rotational players in there. So if it's only Mobley and then you have Dean Wade behind him and whoever else, that's not going to work either. So you also need to pivot from Allen while adding some wing defense, while also maybe having a backup big that can spare some minutes for him and give him a breather. So the Cavaliers, I think the natural pivot point is Allen, but Mobley, I think at the 5, he'll be phenomenal.
So I agree with that, but I really don't think that the Cavs need to do anything this offseason. I would give it another year. Now, if they are ever going to move off of one of these core pieces, I do agree that it should be Jared Allen, and I think Joel, Logan, you guys laid it out. I think that Mobley is going to be at his best at the 5. I think we've already seen that, actually. If you look at his offensive production in the minutes without Allen, it's better, it's more impressive, there's more volume, he's more efficient because he can still do all of his perimeter skill stuff, but like you said, Joel, he's been significantly improved in terms of his ability to play with physicality. I think his touch in the paint has gotten a little bit better, and like the spacing around him is just better, and he's getting all those big man touches now, and he's shown that he can anchor elite defense at the 5. Their defensive rating is better with him on the floor without Allen than it is with them both out there together. So I have no questions about that. The challenges that trading Allen presents to me are, this guy's making $20 million next year. There are not many better value contracts in the NBA. Like, whatever you think of Jared Allen, this is a top 50 player making $20 million. So are you going to be able to get back the same value? It's tough. Yeah. And also, Joel, you hit on another point. Like, even if you think that individually Mobley will be maximized at the 5, and then maybe that's the absolute best version of the Cavs, which I would agree with, their superpower right now, or one of their superpowers, is that they have 48 minutes of damn good big man play. You got 16 minutes of the double big look, which is great. You got 16 minutes of just Allen, which has been great this year. And you have 16 minutes of just Mobley, which has been great. That's not going to be easy to replace. So losing a real quality big like that, losing one of your 4 best players on such a great value contract, when, yeah, you lost in the second round and that's disappointing, but Darius Garland couldn't walk without falling down, man. It was hard to watch. Like, he just clearly was not remotely healthy. Donovan Mitchell in game 5 was clearly not healthy. This entire team, unfortunately, got busted up by injuries at the wrong time when they were all out of rhythm. And Indiana's great. Indiana deserves all the credit in the world. I'm a huge, huge fan of theirs. But for the Cavs, I just don't think you can look at this and panic. I give it another year. Allen is 27, Mitchell's 28, Garland's 25, Mobley's 23. Like, you have time. Multiple of your guys took a big leap. You instituted a new system. It was a huge success. Run it back healthy and see what happens next year.
Fellas, so just hear me out, because I hear what you guys are saying.
Just about to be some bullshit.
Just hear me out. I'm telling you, you're going to like this one. You didn't like the one yesterday, but you're going to like this one.
Okay.
Now, there's a big elephant in the room.
Yes, sir.
A big freaky Greek elephant in the room.
Here we go. See?
And I'm just saying, Mars, you know who the great Bambino is? You know, I'm a home run swinger. I like to swing for the fences. And you guys are saying that they should come off of, you know, the big fella Allen. And I don't want to use this as an indictment for Darius Garland, because obviously he was injured. But we seen that Donovan Mitchell can run the crew, and they can look damn good with Donovan Mitchell at point guard. Right? Now, I'm just saying, Donovan Mitchell run the show. You still got Ty Jerome. You still got some shooters. You still got some defenders. DeAndre Hunter, that's a good player at the 3. But we've talked about Giannis and Wemby pairing up.
Yep.
What else is, other than that, what's better than Giannis and Evan Mobley? They both can play the 4 and 5 next to each other. They both can play the 5 alone, and you have Donovan Mitchell. I think that's a hell of a big 3.
I think it's interesting.
At the expense of Darius Garland and Allen, who you guys aren't high on. Why not shake the dice?
If you're Milwaukee, you're comfortable with seeing Giannis 4 times a year.
So getting traded in the
is that package as interesting to them as just a ton of picks and young players from San Antonio, or I can get them then and a ton of picks from Houston?
I don't know. That's up for them to determine.
No.
All I know is you have an all-star point guard who's very young, and you have a very, very good center. That's up for them to determine.
I mean, and the Bucks do have
enter the sweepstakes.
The Bucks do have incentive to stay competitive too, because they don't have a lot of their picks over the next, 5 years. So that's not a bad idea.
So Ron, you wanna come off Giannis for Darius Garland and Jared Allen and some picks.
In that scenario, Milwaukee says no.
Yeah,
you think so?
I think I agree.
If I'm Cleveland, I would jump at that.
100%. If you Cleveland, you do it.
If you're Milwaukee, I don't think I mean, Garland can't stay healthy for the postseason, and Jared Allen, those 2 players you're building around for the future. And what's that? A first round exit? I just don't think the ceiling is high enough there, and they don't have enough picks for where
when they traded for Donovan Mitchell. How many? Didn't he come with 4 1s? They had to give up 4 1s for him, something like that.
They can only trade 3 firsts, and 2 of them are swaps. They don't even own them.
Right.
So the Bucks would get 2 late first round picks and one of Cleveland's first round picks that might be a late first. So it's 2 players and then 3 late firsts. I don't think that's enough.
Which they need, by the way, Ron. They need those first round picks because Darius Garland and Jared Allen are not making you that much more competitive. So we need those first round picks. It's not like Cleveland, who we don't really care about. If we got Giannis and Mobley and Donovan Mitchell, we don't care about the 27th pick in the first round. We don't care about the 25th pick in the first round. Milwaukee, on the other hand, we need our draft picks because we're trying to build something with Allen and Darius Garland. So one of 2 things is going on. We either got to get a 3rd team involved or we need more.
Yeah, I'm just saying, hey, I'll pick up the phone and just see about it. Once again, you got a very young all-star level point guard, and you got a very, very good center who has played in an all-star game. So you never know.
We've seen teams trade in the division. We saw Rudy get traded to Minnesota for what he got traded for in the division. So
Mhm.
I mean, it's not ridiculous to think that you can get traded in the division. That could very well happen for a bunch of different picks. I just think that for Milwaukee, I need more than Darius Garland and Jarrett Allen and some late ones for Giannis. No.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I mean, Milwaukee, the incentive is to heat it. And Ron, you and I have gone over this plenty of times. The incentive for Milwaukee is to keep Giannis. There is no incentive to trade him. None whatsoever. It's to keep him. So if they're trading him, it's definitely going to be for more than a bucket of extra crispy and a 6-pack.
Chill, that's not a bucket of extra
No.
crispy.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's a little bit more than a value meal. You got to do better than that.
Chill.
Yes.
You the one who loves Darius Garland.
I love Darius Garland 100%. But think about what I'm giving. Think about what I'm getting for Darius Garland. Giannis. You got to give me more than that. You think think you're giving me this 1999 bucket of extra crispy chicken? No, you got to give me more than that.
We trading in a Toyota for a Mercedes, man.
Yes.
You know, something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Be that as it may, in all the trades that they get, unless it's with the Thunder, you can argue with the Thunder. Darius Garland will probably be the best player that they get. They're going to get young assets, but in terms of player, Darius Garland will probably be the best player, unless they go get J-Dub from OKC.
Yeah. But if I can get the opportunity to draft Dylan Harper and then I can get like Devin Vassell, maybe I can get Stephon Castle and then I can get 4 or 5 firsts from the Spurs. I mean, Dylan Harper's a better asset than Stephon Castle. If I'm the Spurs, I'm trying to hold on to that pick, but you got to go get Giannis, man. It's going to be a steep price. So that's the thing. Like if the Bucks didn't have multiple suitors who can put together great packages like Houston, like San Antonio, like you mentioned, OKC, Ron, theoretically, although I don't think they'll do that, because I think that they're probably going to win the championship. And either way, I just run it back. But that's where I think it gets difficult. Like, I just think those long-term, high upside, asset-rich packages are going to be more interesting to them than, yeah, Darius Garland's an all-star point guard right now. And he is pretty young, but he's 25. And, like, their timeline is going to take a hard reset now. So I'd rather have the 19-year-old who I think will be an all-star down the line and more draft capital with him.
And with that being said, Ron, I have to apologize to you. And the reason why I got to apologize to you, Ron, because you've been popping that Indiana shit all year long. And it was going in one year and out the other with me. I really wasn't. I wasn't paying. I'd be lying to you, Ron, if I was sitting up here going, yo, Indiana. I really wasn't paying as much attention to Indiana as I really should have. I was paying attention to Halliburton, sure. And you know how I feel about this kid, Neesmith, because his foot is on the gas the entire game. I love energy guys. And I love this kid, Neesmith. He might foul a little bit much for some people's, for some people's taste, but I just love his energy. And I love how hard he plays. I didn't give you enough credit, Ron, for their rotation guys. That's who I didn't give you enough credit for. I didn't give you enough credit for what Obi Toppin brings to the table. And what Ben Mathurin brings to the table, or TJ McConnell. We had this conversation earlier in the year about him possibly being the best backup lead guard in the game. You already know how I feel about Peyton Pritchard. I think he's the best backup lead guard in the game. But with that being said, what McConnell brings to the table, the energy, the bucket getting, not just the bucket getting, his ability to stretch the defense and change games, I just think that it was completely different than what I thought. I really wasn't paying a lot of attention to this Indiana team, Ron, and I apologize.
It's the player choice way. That them boys don't get it started. The player choice way.